Hello, and welcome to this Building the Main session as part of the buildingSMART International Summit Marrakesh 2024. Thank you for joining. My name is Andre, and I will be your moderator today. Today's session is titled Town Hall and Roundup of Building the Main Activities and Projects. The speakers for the session are David Ivey, Senior Design Technology Manager at HOK, Mirbek Bekoliev, Technical Project Manager at buildingSMART Germany, and Jan Anders Jonsson, Owner, Informations Begana AB. This session is scheduled to last 90 minutes, including time for questions at the end. The session is being recorded and will be made available in the replay section of the event as soon as possible. Before I hand over to the speakers, I would like to remind you that this is a hybrid event. For online attendees, your microphones will remain muted for the duration of the session. If you wish to make a comment or ask a question, please use the chat box in the control panel. For the attendees here in the room, please keep background noise to a minimum, and if you wish to make a comment or ask a question, please raise your hand and use a microphone. I would also like to bring to your attention that buildingSMART is committed to ensuring that participation in the development of standards is unrestricted and the process for their adoption is transparent. The standards that are developed do not favor any particular provider and are open, non-binding, and accessible to all. Please take note of buildingSMART Antitrust Code of Conduct. Now, I would like to hand over to the speakers.
Very good. Thank you. So welcome to the BD session 1. It's just kind of a roundup of stuff. We don't necessarily won't use all 90 minutes, but we'll open it up for questions. Really, it's conversational. So at any time, if you have a question, excuse me, we'll just review some of the projects that we have in the room, and we have some representatives here that can talk to them specifically. So we'll have some discussion around that. And then if you've got anything and you're following along online and you have a question, you can post it online, right? And we'll get that question to whomever, all right? So to start things off, we've got a few activity proposals in the room that we're currently tracking, the Fire Life Safety IDS, the QTO IDS, steel construction use cases for ISDS and IDS and the BSDD, the dictionary, and Smart Buildings IoT, which is still an activity proposal. Did I leave anything off? I don't think so. Do we want to start it with any specific project? Does anybody have any questions about any of those? Or did any of the representatives here want to talk about anything specific to, because we've got a remote mic too, so if we want to get any update on steel construction, Luke, or the QTO, feel free to chime in. Yeah, okay. I don't want to put you on the spot. I just want to give you an opportunity to talk about it if you want. So, okay.
Shall we?
Yeah. He's going to bring them in.
I don't have anything to start with.
Okay, that's fine.
Let's start with QTO. Sorry. Let's start with QTO. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. You feel free to take seats, closer seats. So we will definitely go through details, especially your pain points. It's an open town hall. It's just a discussion. You can ask your questions. You can give feedback, and we can definitely discuss all that, let's say, topics like in BCF, simply issues, comments, and so on. Let's do that way, right? I think feel free to ask and interrupt, yeah, anytime. Let's talk about IDS or open beam for steel construction fabrication. Just want to give you a small update what we did so far. And before I will go through details, we have yeah, okay. All right. So steel construction fabrication, it was approved as an activity proposal, and we worked on detailed project proposal. So we have to make some necessary changes If you're interested what it's about, you simply go to building domain, and there will be some notes or domain updates. There you will find the detailed project proposal or second offer. Meanwhile, we thought we will try to work on some use cases, 2 use cases. If you're not familiar about this steel construction fabrication project, it was done long before, so that the software vendors could use it, and they implemented it on basis of IFC 2.3 schema. And we wanted to simply upgrade it to IFC 4 and 4.3, and means we need to make some necessary changes. So far, all majority of the software vendors involved at that time, including new ones now, supporting this, including domain experts and, of course, organizations supporting this activity. We need to go through details, and those details I will just go mention some of them, especially that nowadays we have new properties, and the old property sets we had there we will bring as a dictionary into BSTD, and there is a new let's say a test phase. That's what I will also share just now, so that you will also go through some details. We decided to work first on the basic level, starting from the capturing requirements from the very beginning, from architects, from structural engineers, bringing that information to, let's say, to a fabricator, and from fabricator as a use case number 2. So there'll be 2 use cases. First, from architects, structural engineers to fabricator. Second use case, from fabricator to machine, or like machinery. Then there will be some robots and some cold forming machines, or other machines that will be preparing the parts. And as you can see, the first use case is already there. If you're not familiar what's use case management, it's a service of buildingSMART International. There you will find many kind of use cases, IDMs, and other standards, examples, best practice examples that you can simply go and create a free account, download all the use cases plus related exchange requirements, property sets, process maps, that's what I wanted to say, and of course ideas. Most of them are the new ones already containing ideas, so you can simply go check and try it. By the way, the first use case is also contains ideas as a test. Of course, it should be up, by the way, to mention, it was created before ideas went into or was recognized as the international standard, and we need simply do our homework and upgrade it to 1.0. It was previously based on 0.9.6. So in between, we have to simply do our some updates. So the first, you will go to the use case management UCM, and if you scroll down, we try to work first on the first use case. It's called open EFT. I will translate it for you. IFC based model handover to fabricator. The translation is almost done. We will definitely release English version as well. As you can see, our working group that time, it helped to in Germany, working group of steel construction, and also joined the working group with Bauforum Stahl, and we worked together on this ideas, and also as a second, let's say, working on implementation of this dictionary. So if you are a registered user, you simply click onto this IFC. As you can see, you can scroll down. You will be able to see all content. As a not registered user, you will not be able to download anything. So it costs nothing. Just go create your account, and you go to ucm.buildingsmart.org, create your free account. Under the login, you go and create your account, and then you will be able to download as a PDF here. As a zip means you will, as a zip or archive, it will give you a chance to download ideas as well. I will scroll down and below. As you can see, there are some comments. You can leave your comment, by the way, as well. And as you can see, we have two data here, ideas, the first at the time, and as a PDF. So all the information related to steel construction fabrication as a first use case, you can find there as ideas. So the thing, I will not explain, go into detail. We are working currently on the use case number 2, which means from fabricator to machine into machiner, with all related necessarily, let's say, types, with the property sets that we need. And we said, like, okay, we will try BSTD as well. And it will, if you go to steel construction fabrication, that's what we thought the dictionary should be called. And as you can see, we started with first, just as a trial. If it works, if it's exactly what we need, we started with first, let's say, class of the whole. I would call it. I don't want to call it like that. Like, I mean the ideas. I mean, I would call it ideas. The whole catalog that we have there. And then we have some properties that also previously was under American Institute of Steel Construction's MVD of that time. So we simply bring that property sets into BSTD. We upgrade them and we make an extensions, of course, giving the credit to AC, American Institute of Steel Construction, because they did a great job in the past. So we need to simply bring it forward. So we have here properties. If you go down under the law avoiding feature, we have here related property sets and properties. As you can see, P set blind hole, P set single, and you can simply increase the BSTD and you will find necessary P sets below. Of course, the further relations, further property sets that will come, and the relations between the property sets with existing schema, I mean IFC schema, with other related dictionaries in BSTD, of course, they are also there. So you should simply check. I think it's the most important updates from us. I mean, there are some other things that we are currently working on. And we have 2 meetings planned. 2, I guess, 2, because we need to work on some final, I would call it final corrections in detailed project proposal before we'll proceed further and according to BSI process. Have you any questions so far? And and the last thing to mention, we will be also, since we were experimenting, we will also change coding, because you know the trick. If you create ideas takes, if you give a BSTD as a basis, ideas takes a code as a basis. So it means if you have any property in your list, there will be some, let's say, I need a class voiding feature with let's say with property reference, and of course, if it's like coded like in the past with XYZ01, and no one will understand unless if that person follows the link, uses URI and opens a BSTD. But make it more human readable, so that you use human readable code, of course, according to machine, but still, so that it will be like reference, and code is also reference. Yeah, just a small remark. Yoshi?
Thank you. I just make a confirmations. You have already mentioned the relationships of former AIGS proposed exchange module 11 or something. So this new project is containing its all stuff of AIGS MVD. Or, I mean, this project can cover the EM11, the part of specifications proposed by AIGS.
Can you clarify what's ASGS?
The original EM11.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Was probably when
You want to give him a micro?
developed it, we were,
Yeah.
give you a mic.
No, it was. Do you have a mic? You want, or do you want to?
If this is picking up, fine.
Okay, just there is a mic.
Thank you. The original EM11 picked
I
up.
think it's this one that we already.
Yeah.
You can. There's an illustration there that you can see. I think this one, but it doesn't show. This use case. Sorry for interruption. It contains a link to the activity detailed project proposal. You can see. You can also open that, and as soon as you open it, you will find the all the exchange models from 1 to 11 related, and plus all the related. Oh God, I need to open the activity proposal. Oh, that's weird. I need to go through the links again. So strange.
Okay. In the
Yeah.
meantime, the original EM11 represented 80% of the information needed for steel fabrication. The easiest 80%, we thought. We developed it knowing there would be a final portion of it that would need to be addressed in the future, and that would be the more difficult 20% of remaining fabrication. So the information covered in EM11, the parts of fabrication capabilities covered are going to continue to be. We just need to update for IFC4 and update for, we saw a voiding feature. We need to be able to communicate the last 20% or some of the more complicated 20% of fabrication, if I understand.
Yeah, thank you. The reason why I asked this one is one of Japanese chapter's member, Kobelko, has been chasing AIGS.
Found it. Sorry.
So this is latest situations of development of standard IOC standard. I mean, property set as well. So
Yeah, sure. Well,
thank
fine.
you. Yeah.
So if it's, I think you simply should join the session or send or forward our invitation
yes,
to related party.
Sure.
I guess you yourself was always on distribution email.
Yeah, I thought Kobelko was on distribution.
Yeah, they will definitely there.
Okay.
But I can usually I will invite you
Yeah.
definitely
Thank you.
one more time. Great.
That's all.
Luke, you have a micro, then maybe you share your thoughts, your opinion, please.
Well, along with what I just said, we need this. We, the steel industry in the U.S., but worldwide, I suspect, are going to be facing more and more a bigger squeeze when it comes to labor, and we're seeing more and more automation and machinery. So it's the only comment I can add here is it's vitally important that we get through this so that we can continue to fabricate steel and support the industry, because it's the expectation that we're going to be able to find labor continuously, easily going forward is badly misstated. So we're able to send information to machinery right now, but it's clunky and it's clumsy, and we need a data set and data schema that can really support what we need it to do in the most seamless, simplest way. And that's what we're Now, it probably goes without saying in this room, but that's what we're doing. And we need, the first go around we had, I will say AISC, Mirbeck hinted at this, but AISC kind of went and did this on an island on our own. And in terms of time, it was very effective. In terms of uptake and acceptance, it was not very effective when we find ourselves years later trying to gain international acceptance retroactively. So now we're going through, I'd say, the proper channels to do this. And that makes a much better use case for some of the machinery suppliers as well.
Yes, that's great. So we will move forward. Any other comments or maybe questions that so far have? If not, then I propose that we go to the next project, which is QTO, like quantitative takeoff. Jan Carlson.
Thank you.
Shall I share something on my screen? Or?
Yeah, it's an old project that was
can also do
started as an MVD from an older version of IFC. It was updated, it was IDM made. And then it was decided that you should be using IDS instead. And a proposal was made, but I must admit that I've been struggling a bit with the. There has been some changes in IDS, but now it's matured kind of as to version 1, and I have made something at early stage, and then I tested in software, but I got different results in different software I used. So I felt that it wasn't mature. I just in the cover break, I heard that one of the reasons might be there should be a change in ISD because some of the products are using the IC schema, some of the products are using IDS, and it's a little bit nerded or technical details. But when you ask for something, you have to specify which type it should be of, and that is causing problems in some tools because it's looking in a reference that seems to be wrong. And yeah, I must admit that I've been using different tools and got different results. So yeah, I have to finalize it and use version 1, and also have the new versions of the tools. And some of kind of, maybe as you know, kind of to my knowledge, IDS software is not certified. So there has been some issues with different tools, and I have used a number of tools, and yeah, it's a part of maturing of IDS, and yeah, kind of there's no excuse, but it's been a bit confusing to use this in this process, but I think it's more stable now, and yeah, I hope it can be finalized. I actually had a discussion also with Arthur before coming here, kind of, and also Mirbeck also showed had the same problem with some of the tools that are taking ISDS. If you're looking for something specifically, it just they're not reporting it. So it's yeah, it's just in the kind of the final stage of having software to be of high quality and also have the reference to be okay. But otherwise, I to my knowledge, most of the stuff is done, but I had some problems to finalize it. And yeah, maybe with the help from Mirbeck and so forth, we will finalize it to be based on version 1 of IDS, so it could be released.
Yeah. Thank you, Jan. I can maybe just give you an example of what we are currently facing, why we need to and let's try to share my screen. Give me a second, share screen. So That's what Jan mentioned. We have that we went through the so if you're not familiar, okay, we have let's say classical QTO property length, right? So it's of course, if you go to the base quantities, also for the lengths and under the wall, let's say, I think we can just go and check the search the same property in IFC schema length, and we can open it. As you can see, there are some QTOs. I will open any one. This is what I want to say. The length here has IFC data type. IFC length measure, right? IFC length measure. And most of the software vendors implemented schema as a majority. It means they all use schema as a basis. It means if you are using BSTD as a basis for creation your ideas, but in BSTD, for practical reasons, the data type is exchanged from IFC length measure to be IFC real, like here, in that case, every validator, IDS validator, will complain that you have different type of data type. It will directly tell you have an error. If you ignore that, still use BSTD content into your ideas, it's good. It's only in some cases. It's only in these cases, especially with the lengths. So it means be aware, do manual work at once, and just update it. And then in ideas, you can use the length measure, you put it, and you can create your ideas for QTO, like Jan did. So there will be a simple update on QTO, right? That's what will be next job. And as you can see, you can use a BSTD as a basis. You can go to the what they call it, properties that you may need. You can take it and you can bring it to the ideas. That's really helpful. It saves a lot of time. It saves you a lot of nerves, and you can simply create, in that case, ideas for every kind of project if you have already that properties in BSTD. Just in some cases, you should check, and there are many validators that directly gives you a hint what data type you should use, and simply make some additional changes. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Can stop my screen. Okay. Now, any questions? Any questions? Yeah.
So you mentioned that there's some manual work that's required to get a data mapping to work properly. Is that a software vendor issue, or is that like just a setting up of a data dictionary situation for a specific use case here?
The software vendors already provide, not many software vendors provide you that opportunity to map BSTD with ideas. So it's actually, I don't see any issue there. And it's really good to have a bridge between BSTD and ideas editor. It's really good because it will save you a lot of time. But the minimum, it might be, in some cases, you need anyways adapt your ideas according to your needs. You need to you import that property, you import that class, but you still need to define further what you will want to have, like values you have to activate. Like if you say, I want to have this wall to be load bearing, so it means I can use BSTD for that. BSTD, I will put the common property, let's say IFC pset wall common, there will be a load bearing, that's a property. I will import it. It has directly data type, Boolean, so we will have directly a true or false, right? But the thing, that true or false, you will have to, as a user or as a, let's say, client or as a designer, you have to put that value active, because software doesn't know if your requirement for that project is different than for other project. So it means it's important anyways to go through. You cannot simply import everything from BSTD and say, that's my ready project. You need still go through all details, all requirements, all parameters, values, and specify. The more detailed, the better.
I think I understand that, but or maybe I'm misunderstanding the initial bit there. You spoke about the problem between mapping of, let's say, integer value to something else. To me, that sounds a disconnect between IDS and BSDD data types then.
It's only in one case regarding the length measure. There's a case that you have to manually update it.
Yeah, I have problem with weight, which as well. I see weight time.
Yeah, and then they have to go through.
I see mass, ratio.
So you just go to you check the schema. If you see its schema says it's IFC positive measure or IFC different type, you need just to use that as a basis. Yeah.
Hello? Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. I suppose it should be straightforward, kind of. So it should be the same kind of. So that if I use one tool, it would be nice if I should use ISC mass measure, it should be accepted in all tools, kind of. And so my knowledge is kind of it's not. Maybe it's clear kind of that the tools are okay, but the IDS, sorry, the BSDD should be changed. But yeah, in order to have IDS to be really popular, I think it's really important that you not need to go into the XML file in a notepad editor or whatever and make some changes and be aware of these problems. So I think somehow it should be fixed.
So it should be consistent from schema to BSTD. Yeah, sure. Yep. No comments further? Questions? So we have a next topic. Okay, then you can IH. Okay, there is another project which is fire safety IDS. That project already delivered IDS as a basis, and like already mentioned, use case management. They published, I guess, the first part, which is occupant movement analysis. They worked on IDS. It's already there. There is a use case published on UTM, use case management, and fire safety IDS is currently, I guess, under review. It's activity proposal. They, the team or initiators, they worked on, let's say, on some changes so far, and we have an activity proposal already reviewed. It was positively reviewed, and means it goes through BSI process further as a next step. So there is a, if you go to building domains page, you will see domain updates there, and there is also a call for sponsors, calls for supporters. So you will find it there. Yeah, there's no further questions.
Yeah, I have a comment kind of that the Morbik, you're also aware that there was an initiative from Denmark some years ago that failed to be supported, but that was made a new application, and that was successful. So I think Germany is not involved, but Netherlands are, and Belgium. So they're also working with fire safety. I will reach out to them again and hope it could be joined. There are some, whether it's functional fire requirements or it's kind of rules that you have to follow. In this case, it's the basic rules but also looking into fire escapes and size of rooms and things like that. So it's we have to see if it's possible to find a solution that at least it's supported by Belgium, Holland. I think the Benelux chapter is participating also, and then there's activities in Denmark and I think Portugal as well.
Thank you for your update. That's great. Yeah, I think if you reach out, Peter.
Can I share my screen?
You can share your screen. For safety, it's Peter Thompson, Peter Lawrence, and Asim Siddiq. It's Peter Thompson, Peter Lawrence, and Asim Siddiq. They are leaders of this initiative. So, like David proposed, we will just show you how you find the updates in on our activities building domain. You go to the page of buildingSMART International, and you under the domains, as you can see, there's a drop-down menu standards. There is a domain page, and there are always further like calls. And as you can see, you will find our roadmap, charter, and you will see domain news. That's what I mentioned. They are all up to date. You simply can scroll down or scroll left and right, and you will see all the activities that currently or going through BSI process. So it means still wait, the domains, final BSI president projects. Yeah. So you will find all necessarily update there.
And support doesn't just have to be, you want to help out. It can be you want to manage it. Maybe your chapter is doing something similar and you want to chime in. Maybe you want to help fund it, which is always great. But so any kind of participation is welcome. And you can also, if you don't go to that particular site, you can always go to the forums, talk to people there. You can reach out to any of us on the steering committee, and we'll put you in the right direction. So if it's easier to do it one way over another. Yeah. And
you can see it just.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, you can also reach us through forum. It's also, let's say, a place where you can simply ask your questions, and there are many experts who can help answer your inquiry. So you have a chance to simply go through, and there is also additional calls or simply normal questions. You can filter them according to your need on which related topic. You can go through, I guess, even you can filter the domains, and we have our domain page here, so you can simply go through all.
So I wanted to just give a little plug to a new-ish activity proposal we have, which is the IoT Internet of Things. This is a collaboration between the UK chapter and the Irish chapter. Sam Norledge and Alex Plenty are working on it. And we're looking to, did we approve this activity proposal already? It's still under review, but what?
It's still under review.
It's still under review. Okay. But I did want to give everybody just a blurb from the executive summary that the team wrote about using the transformational solution driving IFC is the core enabler of integrated building data. The initiative centers on developing new or improved IFC extensions, robust open source validation tool sets, and stronger links between IFC and essential metadata standards. So I think this is going to be a really big and interesting project. It's already secured, I know, some funding, and they've obviously got a management team in Alex and Sam together. So again, going back to calls for participation, if you're interested in something like that, or your chapter is working on something like that and you want to collaborate with them, you can reach out to them directly. You can reach out to us, and you can go to, I don't think there's a tab for this one on the buildingSMART site yet for calls for participation. So you might reach out to just some of us on the steering committee. Anything to add? No? All right, well, that covers the few projects that we have that are kind of actively being reviewed and are starting up. We can just open it up for any kind of general discussion. If anybody has any thoughts or questions about anything we've discussed or haven't discussed.
No, but yeah, but there was a project on energy heat loss heat loss from buildings to make an kind of MED IDS. I suppose that will be in the future.
I guess so. It's about BIM and BAM, right? You mean building energy modeling? Yeah. There is a update. The technical report is already published. The work still, the final work, actually, we decided to proceed with ideas, since a technical report contains exchange models, all that what you need. We have something like 10, 11, or 12 as well, like steel construction. And we said, why not to try simply provide human and machine readable ideas, in that case, for our users. And there is a draft of ideas for BIM and BAM. BAM is a building energy modeling. So you have now a chance to check all kind of IFC models before you bring it to your building energy modeling simulation tools. And there are already some use cases that you can also find on use case management. There are 2 or 3 use cases as a part, since the technical report is huge and contains several use cases. So we said, let's start with small use case and create next one. We covered, first one is a BCF for building owners. Like it's how to capture data and let's say building issues or with the help of BCF. And the second use case, we have OpenBIM for daylighting. Clear, we have ideas here, we have IFC models here, and we have sure BSTD, but we have BCF. We communicate BCF. As a result, we provide the feedback, not just using BCF for design quality controls, but also for later on to spread the task, let's say operation phase, and also for monitoring and documentation, especially documentation. You can also provide certificate of compliance to the client with the help of BCF. So that's a second use case. You find it on the use case management. You just can Google or go to use case management. The third one, which is actually now a trial, but it's a trying optimize ideas for BIM and BAM, will be presented tomorrow afternoon. The session is at 11. It's a building domain session 3. Oh, right? Session 3 called leveraging OpenBIM for standards for energy retrofitting. So we take existing building and test our requirements, against and use, of course, ideas for that purpose. So we have we have 3 ideas prepared for that. One is pre-retrofitting ideas, like real, what's currently. And we have a second ideas, post-retrofitting, since we have after different kind of components, more detailed components. So there's a post-retrofit, and the third one, before I import into the simulation tool, I of course have energy-related ideas. Yeah. So join us tomorrow at 11. It will be, I think, interesting session. We 3 of us will be. Richard Kelly will also join as a building owner.
It's similar to what we did in Valencia, where it's sort of a play, if you will, where we all have a part and we kind of walk through the use cases and the needs of each participant in the process. So sort of a nice, and then also today we've got a joint session in this room with the infrastructure and regulatory room, where we'll look at overlaps between the 3 domains in recent work and future work opportunities. And then later this afternoon at 3:30, we've got the fire safety occupant movement analysis presentation with Peter Thompson. So that'll be a good one. Yeah, I don't have anything else to cover other than the sessions that are upcoming. So go ahead, Tom. There's a question.
Yes. Okay.
There is a question online from Dr. Sean O'Keefe. What MVD is used for this exchange mentioned here between BEAM and BEM? Is it the CV 2.0 MVD?
Yeah, we there are 2 options. Depends on your use case. Not every energy modeling or simulation tool capable of importing IFC4, right? So we have to cope up with the previous schema, and we also, of course, you will be flexible. You use IFC 2x3 coordination view 2.0. That's a previous MVD. You can additionally use if you have a chance to import IFC4 model, so it will be IFC4 reference view. That is another MVD that we classically using. The most important that you have to export in most of the cases, you have to think about IFC spaces, and you have to think about IFC space boundaries. I mean, space boundaries, especially the second level space boundaries, if you don't know what it's about. So if you know the relations between space and adjacent build rooms, or between the walls, what information you have there, that's most important in some software tools like simulation tools. That's why when you define an idea, there should be, of course, a chance to at least capture that information. And it's in a simple level, it's possible to do it in ideas, so it's easy. Yeah, so we can simply check it if IFC space boundary is present. But the relations is, of course, it's not yet so far. That may be a next level of ideas release, but you cannot check if the relation exists. So it's, but in general, yeah. To answer Dr. Sean O'Keefe's question, we use IFC 2x3 coordination view, and for IFC4 models, IFC4 reference view. Hope it answers the question.
Yeah, if there's no other questions or comments, there's none online. If there's none in here, we can always break early. Oh, there's one more. Another online question.
There's a follow-up question Is there information you just mentioned about space requirements defined in the CD 2.0 MVD and RV MVD in IFC4?
Well, yes. Actually, when you export the space requirements, especially if you're using Revit or ArchiCAD or all BIM authoring tools, you have to check if that click, especially by export, if that like a what do you call it, click, the check mark. Thank you. Check mark is active for space boundaries. That's important. Yeah. If you're not familiar how it looks like, we can just check example on Revit or others. But I think it should be done tomorrow. We can go through details tomorrow. I think it will be also for everyone who is dealing with energy simulations, will be interesting to know how it looks like to export a model with space boundaries that will be needed for energy simulations. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? If not, then thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks.
It was helpful, especially for to discuss with initiators of the projects, and hopefully with Young Council we will proceed with upgrading and improving ideas that will be published sometime again. And next projects, you are all domain experts, bring them to us. Yeah, great. Thank you. Dan? Thank you.
Thank you for joining, and we're looking forward to seeing you in other sessions of the forum.